Your tire pressure is probably wrong right now, and millions of drivers think they're doing everything right with their tire pressure, but they're actually costing themselves hundreds of dollars every year. If you're one of those people inflating your tires to that magic number of 32 pounds per square inch because it sounds safe and reasonable, you might be making one of the most expensive automotive mistakes without even knowing it. Here's what's really happening on America's roads right now. The latest 2025 Firestone study covered 9.7 million vehicles, and it found that 42% of cars are driving around with underinflated tires. But here's the kicker. The average vehicle's tire pressure was 13 pounds per square inch lower than recommended. That means if your car actually needs 35 pounds per square inch, you might be running around at 22 pounds per square inch thinking everything's fine because your tire pressure monitoring system hasn't screamed at you yet. Let me tell you about the biggest misconception that's draining your wallet. Half of all drivers believe the pressure number on their tire sidewall tells them where to inflate. Walk outside right now and look at your tire. You'll see something like max press 44 PSI stamped into the rubber. That number is not your target. It's the maximum pressure that tire can handle before it potentially fails catastrophically. Your actual recommended pressure is hiding on a sticker inside your driver's side door jamb or buried in your owner's manual that's probably still in your glove compartment with the plastic wrapping on it. The 32 PSI figure has become this default setting in people's minds because it is indeed the recommended pressure for many standard passenger vehicles. It's a Goldilocks number. Not too high, not too low, just right for average driving conditions. But here's what most people don't realize. Your specific vehicle might need 30 pounds per square inch or 35 pounds per square inch, or even 38 pounds per square inch depending on your car's weight, tire size, tire load index, and engineering specifications. Now, let's talk about what this confusion is actually costing you, because the numbers are staggering. Studies by Oak Ridge National Laboratory for the Department of Transportation have calculated that underinflated tires waste about 5 million gallons of gasoline every single day in the United States. Every single day. That collective waste adds up to Americans overspending approximately $18.6 billion annually on fuel just because of tire pressure. But what does this mean for your personal budget? If you're running tires at 75% of their recommended pressure, which happens more often than you'd think, your fuel economy drops by 2 to 3%. This happens because underinflated tires create more rolling resistance, forcing your engine to work harder. At current gas prices around $4 per gallon, that translates to losing about $125 every year just in extra fuel costs. That's money that could cover a nice dinner out every month, just evaporating because you're a few PSI short. The tire wear situation is even more brutal. Industry analysis from major manufacturers like Continental and Bridgestone shows that for every 10% drop in pressure, your tire tread life decreases by approximately 15%. If you're supposed to be running 32 pounds per square inch, but you're actually at 24 pounds per square inch, which is exactly where your tire pressure monitoring system finally decides to warn you, your tires are wearing 30% faster than they should. A set of tires that should last 60,000 miles might only give you 42,000 miles. Let's do some math here. The average driver spends between $460 and $1,280 for a complete set of 4 tires in 2025, with installation costs averaging about $31 per tire. If underinflation is cutting your tire life by 30%, you're essentially throwing away $200 to $400 every time you replace your tires. Over the life of your vehicle, that could easily add up to thousands of dollars in premature tire replacements. Here's where things get really interesting and frustrating. Your tire pressure monitoring system, that little light on your dashboard that's supposed to keep you safe, is actually giving you a false sense of security. Pat Goss, a master mechanic and automotive radio show host, puts it perfectly. These have lulled most drivers into believing that if the warning signal is off, everything is fine. The dirty secret about TPMS is that under Federal Motor Vehicle Safety Standard 138, it doesn't activate until your tire pressure drops to 25% below the manufacturer's recommendation. So if your car needs 32 pounds per square inch, that warning light won't illuminate until you hit 24 pounds per square inch. At that point, you're already in the danger zone where your fuel economy is tanked, your tires are wearing rapidly, and your safety margins have been compromised. This regulation came from the 2000 Tread Act, which forced automakers to include TPMS after the Firestone/Ford tire controversy that killed over 270 people. This explains why 83% of drivers aren't tire smart according to the Rubber Manufacturers Association. Only 9% of vehicles have 4 properly inflated tires. Let that sink in. 9 out of every 100 cars you pass on the highway have all 4 tires at the correct pressure. The other 91% are driving around with at least one tire that's costing them money and potentially putting them at risk. AA responds to over 150,000 flat tire calls annually, many stemming from pressure-related issues. The visual inspection trap is another piece of this puzzle. You'd be amazed how wrong a tire's pressure can be before it becomes noticeable just by looking at it. Modern radial tires can be down 10 pounds of air pressure and still look perfectly fine. This is especially true with run-flat tires, which can be completely deflated and maintain their shape thanks to reinforced sidewall construction. Temperature changes compound this problem in ways most drivers never consider. Your tire pressure decreases by about 1 pound per square inch for every 10-degree drop in outside air temperature. As seasons change and you transition from summer to winter, a 50-degree temperature drop translates to about 5 to 10 pounds per square inch of underinflation. That perfect 32 pounds per square inch you set in July becomes a problematic 22 to 27 pounds per square inch by December. Even under normal conditions, tires naturally lose approximately 1 PSI every month. So those tires you inflated 6 months ago? They're already down 6 PSI just from normal air permeation through the rubber. Before you factor in temperature changes or small leaks, the safety implications go far beyond money. National Highway Traffic Safety Administration studies show that vehicles driving on tires underinflated by more than 25% are 3 times more likely to be involved in crashes related to tire problems. Tire blowouts account for approximately 11,000 vehicle crashes each year. And in 2022, more than 500 people were killed in tire-related crashes in the United States. When tires are underinflated, they become more flexible, which affects your vehicle's handling, braking distance, and stability. Maddie Mori from Nokian Tires puts it bluntly, a tire with too low pressure is too flexible, which makes it uncontrollable. This is probably the most dangerous false belief concerning tire pressure. The solution isn't complicated, but it requires breaking some ingrained habits. First, find your vehicle's actual recommended tire pressure. What PSI should your tires be? Check that door jamb sticker or crack open your owner's manual. Don't guess, don't assume 32 pounds per square inch is correct, and definitely don't use the number on your tire sidewall. Second, check your tire pressure monthly when the tires are cold, meaning the car hasn't been driven for at least 3 hours. Temperature affects pressure readings, so checking right after driving gives you inflated numbers that don't reflect your actual cold tire pressure. Third, invest in a quality tire pressure gauge. Those pencil-style gauges are better than nothing, but a good digital gauge gives you accuracy and confidence. Check all 4 tires plus your spare. That spare tire sitting in your trunk is probably flat right now, even though you haven't touched it in years. The environmental impact of proper tire inflation extends beyond your personal savings. If Americans properly inflated their tires, we could eliminate the need for 4.5 billion extra gallons of gasoline burned each year. This would reduce CO2 emissions from automobiles by an estimated 40.5 million metric tons annually, equivalent to the carbon impact of more than 2 million garbage trucks of waste being recycled instead of landfilled. Your tires are the only part of your vehicle that touches the road. They're responsible for acceleration, braking, cornering, and keeping you safe in emergency situations. Treating tire pressure as an afterthought is like buying a high-performance car and then putting sugar in the gas tank. The next time you see that 32 PSI number, remember that it might be right for your vehicle, or it might be costing you hundreds of dollars and putting your safety at risk. The correct tire pressure isn't a guess or a rule of thumb. It's an engineering specification designed specifically for your vehicle. Find that number, use that number, and check it regularly. Your wallet, your safety, and the planet will thank you.